Sorry, Judge.
Okay. And- all right, the court is calling cause number 2020 DCM 2925. This is a hearing on a petition to suit affecting parent-child relationship. Parties in this case are Victor Morales, who is present, and Ms. Jacqueline Ramirez, who's also present. We're conducting this hearing on a Zoom application because we cannot appear in court because of the pandemic crisis that's going on. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 4D Court here in El Paso, Texas. We are live streaming this matter on the YouTube channel. That is to comply with the Texas rules that we have to keep open courts available to the public. However, as soon as we finish this hearing here today, that stream will be taken off the YouTube channel. I am recording the evidence on this computer audio system. That is the official record of the proceedings here today. I'll ask parties not to talk over each other. Wait until a question is being asked before you start answering. And that is because sometimes we have audio problems and we want to minimize as many audio problems that we have. Okay? Let me see what else we need to do. Okay, I believe that's all the general instructions in this case. I'll ask the Attorney General to make an announcement on this case.
Lindsay Kaplan for the state, Your Honor, ready?
All right, Mr. Morales, are you ready to proceed today as well?
Somewhat, Judge.
Okay, tell me what the reluctance is, sir.
I did not come with the documents that were required.
Okay. Those documents included your income and whether or not you have health insurance available.
That's correct.
You don't have anything with you today?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ramirez, are you ready to proceed today, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll do the best we can, Mr. Morales. All right.
Okay.
If it does become a problem, or if the AG wants to have definite proof of your income, then we may have to reset this matter, okay? So at this, I'll have both parties please raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Just need for you to speak up just a little bit louder, please, so we can have a recording. All right, Ms. Kaplan, go ahead.
Your Honor, the state offers the acknowledgement of paternity for the child, in this case, Fernanda Elena Morales, for in-camera inspection only. At this time, may I please email it to the court?
Yes, go ahead and email to the court because it wasn't attached to the petition. Okay, then pending that, what that document is that document that the party signed. I assume it was signed in the hospital where Mr. Morales and Ms. Ramirez had acknowledged that Mr. Morales is the father of the child and signed the document. And Ms. Ramirez, you also signed the document. Is there any dispute about the acknowledgement of paternity, Mr. Morales?
No, Judge.
Ms. Ramirez, any concerns that you have about that document not being a valid document?
No, not at all.
All right, pending receipt of that document, I'll take judicial notice of the acknowledgement of paternity. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Ms. Ramirez as a witness.
All right, go ahead.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Jacqueline Ramirez?
Who is Fernanda Elena Morales?
My daughter.
Who does she live with?
with me
How long has she lived with you?
since birth, 9 months and 2 weeks.
And do you live in El Paso, Texas?
Yes,
And who is her father?
Victor Antonio Morales.
And did you sign a document stating that he is her father?
Yes,
And did Mr. Morales also sign that document?
yes,
Are you able to make parenting decisions with Mr. Morales regarding your daughter?
yes,
Would you like to continue to make decisions with him uh, regarding your child's education and general welfare going forward?
yes.
Does Mr. Morales visit your daughter?
Yes.
How often?
Pretty much, I would say 6 days out of a week, 5 to 6 days out of the week.
Where does he go to visit your daughter?
At my home.
Do you have any safety concerns with Mr. Morales going to your home to visit your daughter?
No,
Have you ever had any safety concerns with Mr. Morales?
no,
Has there ever been any family violence between you and Mr. Morales?
they. It was something like a few years ago.
What happened?
We were arguing, and well, I called the cops, and you know we separated for a while after that, but the baby was not born at that time.
Has there been any violence in your relationship since the birth of Fernanda?
No,
Due to the past incident of family violence, would you prefer that you meet somewhere other than your residence to exchange the child for visitation?
no, we're fine.
Is there another location other than your residence that is convenient for you to exchange the child for visitation?
It would be at his option. I'm not sure.
Do you know if Mr. Morales is working at this time?
Yes,
Where does he work?
at Frutiki Inc.
And what does he do there?
I believe he's the vice president in the company.
How much does he earn?
I'm not sure exactly.
Do you know if he has other children?
Yes,
How many?
two more.
Are those two children under the age of 18?
Yes,
Do those two children live with him?
no,
Do you know if he's court ordered to support those two other children?
I'm sorry.
Do you know if he's court ordered to support those two other children?
I believe so. Yes,
Does he have health insurance available for your child?
I'm not sure.
Do you have health insurance available for your child?
Yes, she's receiving Medicaid.
Do you have any other type of insurance available for your child?
No,
Do you have any plans to move outside of El Paso for work or educational purposes?
not any. Not at the moment.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor. The state calls Mr. Morales.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Morales, what is your name?
Victor Antonio Morales,
And who is Fernanda Elena Morales?
my daughter.
And how old is she?
She's 9 months.
And who does she live with?
Her mother,
And how long has she lived with her mother?
since she was born.
And do you make major decisions about Fernanda with her mother?
Yes,
And would you like to continue to make those major decisions going forward?
yes.
And how often do you visit Fernanda?
Almost every day we spent time together.
And where do you go to visit Fernanda?
At her mother's home?
Is there a convenient location other than Ms. Ramirez's residence that you could go to exchange your child for visitation?
Yeah, if we needed to, I'm sure it would be fine.
Okay, what other location would be convenient for you, sir?
A mutual location.
Can you think of a location right now, for instance, like a McDonald's or a Peter Piper Pizza?
Yeah, that's fine.
Which McDonald's, sir?
No, I mean, I think it's fine if we meet at the mother's house. If we needed to meet at another place for convenience, I think we can do that. We can arrange something.
Okay. Are you working, sir?
Yes,
Where do you work?
Frutiki Inc.
And what do you do there?
I'm the vice president,
And how much do you earn as the vice president?
and 48,000
Yearly?
annually. Yes.
And do you get any other bonuses besides the 48,000?
Uh, no, I received an advance. Uh, I, I, I don't believe it was a bonus. I think it was an advance.
Okay. How many children do you have, sir?
I have 2 other children.
Are those 2 other children under the age of 18?
Yes,
Are you quartered to support those children?
yes.
Do you have health insurance for your children?
Uh, not at this time.
Does your place of employment provide health insurance for your children?
No. They did, but it was removed.
You know, if your daughter has health insurance,
Yes,
what type of insurance?
Medicaid.
Do you know if she has any other type of insurance?
No,
When did you separate from Ms. Ramirez?
I believe it was late February, early March.
Have you provided support since the separation?
Absolutely, yes.
How much
Continuous
support?
support. I don't have an actual number, but it's significant.
Did you provide money to Ms. Ramirez for the support of your daughter?
Yes,
How much money?
within the time.
Yes.
For Fernanda, I don't have an exact number, but it would be a few $1,000s.
And do you have any plans to leave El Paso for work or educational purposes?
No,
Permission to recall Ms. Ramirez, Your Honor?
Okay, go ahead.
Ma'am, when did you separate from Mr. Morales?
We separated because we were not understanding each other, and it
When?
was when? Late February, early March.
Has he provided support for Fernandez since the separation?
Yes.
How much support?
Um, I can't really say how much. He has provided with diapers, clothes, and everything that she needs.
Has he ever given you money?
He has gave me money for myself. Yes.
Has he ever given you money for Fernanda?
No, but he buys everything for her. He buys it.
If you had to assign a dollar amount to all of the items that he's purchased since your separation, how much would that be, in your opinion?
Mm, I would say a few thousand as well, a couple or a few.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
You wouldn't happen to have an iPhone charger by chance?
Any other questions for either party?
No further questions for either party, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Morales, I just need to pin down a couple of things. You
Yes, sir.
said your salary was 48,000 per year?
Yes. Yes.
Are you a salaried or you hourly employee?
Salary, sir.
Okay. And your 48,000, is that even? Is there any other 48,500 or anything like that?
No, that's pretty much all I receive.
48,000.
Yes.
How are your other children covered on health insurance?
They were we had a plan, and I wasn't able to renew it because of circumstances had changed. And I wasn't able to renew it.
So are your other children covered on health insurance as far as?
I believe they are covered to a certain extent, but I have intentions to renew with Fernanda. I would like to see if I can get a family plan with Fernanda, including myself.
Okay. Do you know how much that would cost you?
I know it's I know it'd be expensive, but I could speculate it could be about $500 to $600 per month.
That would include all three of your children?
Yes.
When was the last time you visited Fernanda?
This morning.
Morning. How long a period of time did you visit with her?
I visit as often as
This
soon as a
morning, how much time did you visit with her this morning?
few hours, sir.
2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours?
2 hours.
Well, and is that pretty much your normal visitation?
No, I as soon as I am done with work, I go directly to her mother and visit Fernanda.
Okay. Do you and Ms. Ramirez, do you all talk about visitation, or you just show up, or how is it that you work it out?
We actually up until last Thursday, I didn't I wasn't aware that we were still going to be here today in this proceeding.
Okay.
I was under the impression that Ms. Ramirez had found a way to not pursue with this intention,
Okay.
because we've been trying to, I've been trying very hard to continue the relationship with Ms. Ramirez.
Right?
Because of the Fernanda, and because, I have feelings for Ms. Ramirez.
All right.
But
My questions are,
yes, sir.
how do you work out the visitation? Do you just show up? You call each
No,
other?
no. We constantly communicate with our phones.
Okay.
So she knows when I go over. And yes.
Do you work full time?
Yes, sir.
How many hours usually?
It could be over 40 to 50, sometimes 80, 60. It depends on, I take my work home.
Okay.
I'm able to work remotely.
Okay.
So I work nonstop.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Ramirez, I have a couple of questions for you as well. Um, do you and Mr. Morales, are you all able to work out visitation between yourselves?
Yes.
Any problems?
No.
Anything like that? 'Cause I know.
Judge,
Hold on a
I
second. I'm asking
I
you.
apologize. I'm sorry, Judge, to interrupt, but my phone is at a 20%, so I'm not sure if it's gonna last.
No, we're almost finished.
I apologize for the interruption.
Not a problem, sir. So, Ms. Ramirez, you are able to work it out with Mr. Morales as far as visitation.
So far, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she is how old now? About 10 months, 11 months?
She'll be 10 months on actually today. She's 10 months today.
10 months.
Yes.
All right. Um, Ms. Ramirez, are you asking for any back child support?
I'm sorry?
Are you asking for any back child support, any retroactive support?
No, he's been really helpful. I don't think it'll be necessary.
Okay. All right. Now, because of her age, is it okay if he continues to visit with Fernanda at your home
Yes.
or any other place that you all can agree upon? Like, for example, at a park or anything. I'm kind of concerned about taking a child that young into a McDonald's or a Peter Piper where people are congregating just because of the pandemic crisis that's going on. And
All right.
figure out what would be a safe place. If you're okay with him coming over to visit Fernanda at your place, is that okay with you?
Yes.
You hesitated a little bit. Do you have any at all?
No, no, I want her to stay at home as much possible.
Okay, I understand. I understand completely, ma'am, because of what's going on out there in the public setting.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions, Ms. Kaplan, for either party?
Yes. Miss, the state recalls Ms. Ramirez.
Okay.
Ms. Ramirez, is there another location other than your residence, such as a relative's house, that you would feel comfortable taking your child for visitation?
At this time, I would rather have her be at home, but when she turns, I would say 1.5 or so, in which she becomes more independent, I wouldn't mind her going to drop her off like at her dad's house or grandma's.
Okay. No further questions.
Okay. All right. All right. Based on the testimony today, I'm going to go ahead and appoint both parties joint managing conservators of the child. Ms. Ramirez will be the primary possession, will have primary possession of the child. Geographical restriction to El Paso County, Texas. Parties seem to be able to work out visitation between themselves. And so I'm going to order that any visitation be at such times, at reasonable times and locations. If for some reason, the weather is getting kind of a little bit cold, if parties want to take her out to a park or anything like that, that's fine, as long as there's an agreement between the parties. Otherwise, visitation will be limited to Ms. Ramirez's home for the time being. Now, this is because of her age and because of the pandemic crisis, I agree with Ms. Ramirez as far as taking her out to any sort of public places, such as McDonald's or Peter Piper or anything like that. Now, if she's comfortable with Mr. Morales taking the child once she gets a little bit older to either his mom or some other relative's home, or maybe Ms. Ramirez at your home, your mother's home, or any other place, that's fine with the court, okay? But I expect both parties to be able to work with each other for the sake of this child, and limit the visitation accordingly, okay? Let's see. Right, as far as general instructions, those are the general orders. Child support obligations, what is the state's recommendation on this matter?
Your Honor, the state recommends child support based on $48,000 a year salary as testified to by Mr. Morales, with credit for 2 other children that he's court-ordered to support, and credit for a prorated $120 cash medical support obligation to reimburse for government insurance. The guideline child support amount has been calculated to be $508. The state requests a $508 child support obligation to begin October 1st, 2020, and a $120 cash medical support obligation to begin October 1st, 2020 as well. The state has calculated a guideline retroactive child support judgment to be $3,048, taken from the time of separation as testified to by the parties in March of 2020 until today. And the state defers to the court whether or not to give credit for the items provided in the amount of a few $1,000s as testified to by the parties, as for necessities such as diapers and milk and clothing for Fernanda.
And payments commencing October 1.
Yes, Your Honor, with the repayment of $50 a month beginning October 1st of 2020.
Okay. All right. Ms. Ramirez, you heard the recommendation of the state as far as child support to be set at $508 a month. Medical support to cover the health insurance through the government, $120 a month. Are you in agreement with that recommendation, ma'am?
Yes.
Mr. Morales, are you in agreement with the recommendation, sir?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, that'll be the order of the court. Now, as far as any retroactive support, I just want to make the record clear, Ms. Ramirez, you're not asking for any retroactive support, is that right?
Correct.
Because Mr. Morales has been providing support for the child.
Yes.
I'll order that there be no retroactive support. Was there non-disclosure in effect?
Your Honor, the state did plead for a determination of disclosure of address. There's no order in place regarding a non-disclosure at this time, and the state would request a ruling from the court on that issue.
Okay. What we're talking about, Ms. Ramirez, is that there was a request that your information not be included in the court order. Usually when that request is made is because there has been either acts of family violence in the past or threats of family violence in the past. If I grant that non-disclosure, that means that your information would not be included in a court order. However, due to the fact that the visitation schedule requires that Mr. Morales go to your home, how do you feel about that issue about I can either not order a non-disclosure, that's a double negative. In other words, not order that your information be included, or order that your information be included, such as your address, telephone numbers, and all that. Do you think there's a need for a non-disclosure, or is it okay are you waiving that request at this time?
I would like to waive it at this time.
All right. Non-disclosure has been waived on the record.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we need to address that I haven't issued an order on, Ms. Kaplan?
No, Your Honor. May I present the order without the party signatures, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead and present the order to me. What happened now is that the Attorney General will prepare the order as I have ordered it at this time. Once I receive it, I will sign it, and the order will be filed with the clerk's office, and copies will be sent to both of you. Okay, that's a normal procedure. Right, unless there's any questions from either party, that will conclude our hearing for today. Mr. Morales, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, any questions?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see that both of you are working together, and hopefully everything will continue working together without any problems. Okay. All right. That
Thank
concludes
you.
the day. Parties are excused at this time. Thank you all very much for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.